A 72-year-old grandmother vanishes in broad daylight on a trail she's hiked hundreds of times. 2 years later, rangers discover something so horrifying it changed how we think about wilderness safety forever. This isn't about bears or bad weather. This is about human monsters hiding in America's most beautiful places, setting traps for innocent hikers like you and me. Welcome to Wilderness Mysteries. What happened to Eleanor Matthews wasn't an accident. It was calculated, deliberate, and absolutely terrifying. Before we begin, I need to warn you. This story will haunt your dreams and change how you hike forever. Meet Eleanor, Ellie Matthews, 72 years old, retired schoolteacher, grandmother of 5, and one of Colorado's most experienced hikers. For 45 years, Ellie had conquered these Rocky Mountain trails. She'd summited 14 peaks, over 14, 0 feet, logged over 10, 0 hiking miles, and kept meticulous journals dating back to 1978. Ellie was obsessively prepared. Detailed hiking plans filed with rangers, emergency equipment always packed, satellite communicator check-ins at exactly 6 p.m. every day. Her daughter Sarah called her annoyingly cautious, which makes what happened next absolutely chilling. September 15th, 2022. Ellie sets out for a routine 3-day solo hike on Bear Lake Trail, Everself, a path she'd hiked dozens of times. Her plan: 28 miles over 3 days, camping at designated sites, photographing autumn aspens, then home for Sunday dinner with family. Day 1, 2 p.m. Beautiful weather, camped at Bear Lake Site. 3. Saw elk family at sunset. All good. Love you all. Grandma Ellie. Day 2. Silence. Ellie had never, not once in 15 years, missed her 6 p.m. check-in. By 9 p.m., park rangers were mobilizing what they thought would be routine rescue. They found Ellie's campsite exactly as described: tent secured, fire safely extinguished, no disturbance. But Ellie and her pack had vanished. What followed was one of the largest search operations in park history. Over 200 volunteers, helicopters with thermal imaging, search dogs, professional mountain rescue teams. They covered 50 square miles of rugged terrain for 30 straight days. 5. 0 person hours, 200 flight hours, $500,000 spent. But despite having Ellie's exact planned route and perfect weather conditions, searchers found absolutely nothing. No footprints beyond her campsite, no dropped gear, no distress signals. A 72-year-old grandmother had simply evaporated. In 20 years of search and rescue, I've never seen anything like this. It was like Eleanor Matthews just disappeared into thin air. October 15th, 2022. Official search operations suspended. Eleanor Matthews became another statistic, one of 600-plus people who disappear in national parks annually, but her family refused to give up. Sarah Matthews mortgaged her house to hire private investigators. Ellie's grandchildren organized weekend search parties. Every holiday was marked by her empty chair and one haunting question: what happened to Grandma Ellie? 2 years passed. The case went cold. Most people assumed Ellie had suffered an unfortunate wilderness accident. Tragic, but not uncommon in such rugged terrain. They were wrong. Dead wrong. The horrifying discovery. December 18th, 2024, FNS. Exactly 2 years and 3 months later. Rangers Jessica Mills and David Park were conducting routine trail maintenance when Mills noticed something that didn't belong. Ranger Mills. The vegetation looked too perfect, too deliberately arranged. You develop an eye for things that are out of place in the wilderness. They began removing carefully placed branches and vegetation. What they uncovered would haunt them forever. A pit trap, 6 feet deep, 4 feet wide, lined with sharpened wooden stakes, and at the bottom, Eleanor's distinctive purple hiking boots. The ones her granddaughter gave her for her 70th birthday, complete with small silver bells to let the bears know she was coming. Inside those boots were human remains. Forensic investigation revealed Ellie had survived the initial fall. Scratch marks on the pit walls and worn fingernails embedded in dirt told the horrific story of her final hours. She had desperately tried to climb out. But this was just the beginning. Search team, forensic specialists discovered the trap had been recently maintained. Stakes freshly sharpened, camouflage refreshed multiple times. DNA evidence from at least 3 other victims. Someone had been actively using this as a killing ground. Using ground-penetrating radar and cadaver dogs, investigators found a network of death traps scattered throughout the park's most isolated sections. 7 more pit traps. 3 deadfall traps designed to crush victims. 2 snare traps along narrow trail sections. Someone had turned America's most beautiful wilderness into a systematic killing field, operating for years without detection. Trail camera analysis revealed the breakthrough. IC-MIA, footage of someone accessing remote areas at unusual hours. Thomas Mitchell, age 54, former park maintenance technician, fired in 2019 for inappropriate behavior toward female visitors. He hadn't left the park. He'd just become invisible, living in a remote cabin and using his intimate knowledge of trail systems to hunt human prey. Search team agents raided Mitchell's cabin January 8, 2025. What they found was a house of horrors. Detailed maps marking trap locations, journals documenting victim movements, trophies from victims, hiking equipment, personal items, photographs. Mitchell's twisted journals revealed his ideology. He believed modern hikers were soft and complacent, and his traps were wilderness education to prove human weakness. He kept detailed records of each victim, rating their survival performance. During confession, Mitchell claimed responsibility for 11 disappearances over 8 years, including Eleanor Matthews. He showed no remorse, only pride in his work and anger that it had been discovered. September 2025, Thomas Mitchell sentenced to life in prison without parole. For Eleanor's family, the discovery brought closure and renewed anguish, answers that revealed their beloved matriarch's final hours, fighting for her life against an enemy she never saw coming. 8 other families learned their loved ones' fates. Victims ranged from 23 to 74, experienced hikers, casual day hikers, even a honeymoon couple wanting to watch sunrise from a mountain peak. All traps have been dismantled. Security measures dramatically increased. Expanded trail cameras, frequent ranger patrols, enhanced employee background checks. The wilderness is safer now, but the scars remain. Eleanor Matthews did everything right. Experienced, prepared, cautious, followed safety protocols. But she fell victim to the one threat no preparation could prevent: another human evil hiding in paradise. Her story reminds us that wilderness dangers aren't just natural. Sometimes the greatest threat comes from our own species. Hike with others when possible, inform multiple people of detailed plans, carry emergency devices, and trust your instincts if something feels wrong. Eleanor lived 72 adventurous years, touched hundreds of lives as a teacher, raised a beautiful family, and explored thousands of mountain miles. Let's remember her not for how her story ended, but for how fully she lived. If this story moved you, please subscribe to Wilderness Mysteries. Share this video to honor Eleanor's memory and help keep other hikers safe in the wilderness she loved. In memory of Eleanor Matthews and all who found peace in the mountains but never made it home, Eleanor Ellie Matthews lived for 72 years, touched hundreds of lives as a teacher, raised a beautiful family, and explored thousands of miles of mountain trails. Let's remember her not for how her story ended, but for how fully and adventurously she lived. If this story moved you, please like this video and subscribe to Wilderness Mysteries for more stories that need to be told. Share this video to help keep Eleanor's memory alive and to help other hikers stay safe in the wilderness she loved so much.